Hello, my friends. John LaRuffa here with another straight up solo. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at Evenfall. I'm going to show you how it plays from a solo standpoint and then let you know what I think about it. Let's get started. Okay, folks, and as usual, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And if you have, I really do appreciate that support. Thank you very much. So, this is what the game's going to look like as you're entering into the third of 3 rounds. And the game plays the same for each of the 3 rounds. First thing you're going to do is kind of like an initiation phase, so to speak, where you get a couple of cards, you get a couple of tokens, things like that. Then you're going to take all your actions, play all your turns. Then you're going to do this battle phase where you're basically kind of committing mana and other things here to try to win a majority. I shouldn't say the majority. You try to win the top to get one of these power tokens. And also, depending on how much you contribute to it, you get some other benefits as well. And then that's it. Then you do kind of a reset round. All right, you're going to do that 3 times, and then at the end of that third time, basically you then score your tableau as it is kind of out there, and then you see who wins. So the way that the game works is it's a multifunction card game. Okay, so cards can be played in a couple of different ways. You got cards like this, which can be played either as the specialist end, which is the top end, which gives you some ability and those worth points at the end, or you can play it under the bottom, over here paying this cost down there, to do this kind of thing, which is an end game power usually, or something related to that. That's one type of card. Then you have these other cards here, which are ritual cards, which you play on top of these sacred land or power cards. I can't remember what they're called, but basically you play them here to put them in your tableau. And if they're on the top, you can use that in conjunction with other cards to harvest basically resources from them throughout the game once per round. But if you bring them down here, they're going to be ready to be scored. And then you can also use these elder workers to activate them down here. And only the elders can be used to activate them down here. I shouldn't say this. I should say that elders can only be used here. Otherwise, they can't be used. So basically, putting them down there helps you score them at the end of the game. And it also will allow you to use more turns and workers. And you can do other things too. You can move up on this track, and the track will give you points and other abilities. You can create these little artifacts, which either, like I said, help you move up on the track, this one, or increase your harvest power, allowing you to double that up. So it's very much a card game, tableau game, where you're, playing cards to do a variety of different specific things that all kind of work together for the strategy you're trying to do. And on the AI side, which is over here, basically you are moving around this little rondelle, and as you move to these spots, wherever you stop, you take a specific action. And the actions are pretty simplified for the AI, which is very nice, very easy to do. And how do I figure it out? Well, I draw the card, the top card off the deck, and then whatever it says in the victory point number is how many spaces I move on this rondelle. And I always have to stop here and always have to stop there to do those actions. But besides that, I might end up playing the top card of a deck. I might end up committing some of the my workers to these places to gain these different cards. Lots of different stuff. And they do participate in the battles at the end. And it's a battle. It's not really a battle. It's more like a assessment of power, so to speak, to get rewards, which are all channeled into points if there are any kind of resources, and to get these power tokens. All right, so let me show you a couple of turns here and just kind of give you a flavor. In the solo mode, you always will go first. So no matter whether you've gotten the first player marker or not, that usually goes to the person who wins this battle. You would go first. So one of the easiest things and simplest things you can do is you could take a place there to gain power, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually take 2 of my workers, put them over here, and get this spirit bog. And the reason I'm doing that is because I need a couple of more cards over there, plus I can get some green when I harvest, and if I put something on there, I'll score 2 points. So a lot of different things to consider. So that was my turn. Pretty simple. Oh, well, wait, getting a little bit ahead of myself. The first thing I have to do is the scout round. The AI doesn't do anything for the scout round. You just do, and you get what's in here. So I will draw 6 cards, get 3 of these knowledge tokens, and 2 mana, which I keep track of over here, and then 6 cards. And I got a whole hand of cards over here a little bit off camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can have, as far as I can tell, there is no hand limit in the game. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't see any. So you can have all sorts of cards that you can use. But if you don't want to use them at any time, you can spend a card to, what is it? It's 1 card per resource, I think. Not 2, is it? Let's see. No, I'm sorry. You could discard 2 cards to gain 1 of any resource. So you're going to do that a decent amount too to help pay for things because resources are kind of scarce. Okay, so now that I've taken my turn, we go to him. What is he going to do? Well, he draws up the top of the deck. It's a 2 right there. So with the 2, we're going to move this 2 spaces. 1, 2, whoops. And he's going to move a card from the outer circle to the inner circle, helping him to score at the end of the game. He'll only move ones that have a card played on them, like I told you. And so this moves, and this comes with it. And we'll just slide these down here. He's actually got these 2 cards also. I just ran out of some table space. And that's it. That was his turn. Very simple, really quick. They also give you some rules to remember over here, which is nice for him. Really easy to control the bot. Back to me now. Well, let's try to play a card here. Let's see. We got all sorts of ones to choose from, but I don't have a lot of resources at the moment. In fact, I have like no resources at the moment. So I could harvest first, but I might not want to. I might want to try to get maybe 1 more of those places of power and then harvest. Now that'll spend, let's do this. I got another idea. Let's use one of these powers up here. I'll take this guy. I'll play it here and I can discard 1 card to get 1 of each resource. All right. So one of these doesn't really make sense. Probably this one. Well, that's not so bad, actually. But I don't have a lot of time to use it. It's only worth 1 point. So let's discard this one. Don't need it right now. And we'll get 1 of each. That'll help me kind of get moving here. So there we go. All right, let's take another action for him. You can see how it kind of goes back and forth pretty quick. Game's not too long, 2. Okay, 1, 2. He's going to go to the Northern Lakes. The card over here, he'll always take the left one if he can. So place this, put it in this place right there into the outer circle. Back to me now. Let's see if I can play a cheap card. Maybe something with some knowledge and not a lot of other things here. Oh, boy. Need a little bit more. Well, I think I will harvest. So I'll do this harvest action where I will basically, you can only do it once. So I'm going to get 1 of these, 1, 2, 3 of the green. All right. Then I'm going to get 1, 2 of the red potions. I'm going to get 1 point, which we track over here. So it puts me to 20. Unfortunately, this thing's a little warped, so it spins. Everything in this game wants to spin because of the warp, which is really obnoxious. So you have to hold it down. And then I have this guy who says each time you harvest your outer circle, harvest 1 place of power from your inner circle. So let's do that. Probably the best one to harvest would be this one because it gives me a point and a red, but I've got the sickle, so I get 2 of them. So I'm going to get 2 points and 2 red potions. So now I've got all sorts of stuff to work with, which is good. And so again, it's going to keep going back and forth like that, whether you're playing cards, working with his stuff, and eventually, like I said, you're going to do this battle phase. I'm not going to show you that right now because it's going to take a while to get there, but the battle phase is really simple. After you both passed, you then will determine your power. And your power is equal to 1 for each of your workers that's in this area, plus 1 for every mana you decide to spend on your little hidden wheel here, and any other things that you might have. I don't think there's any bonuses that I have. Well, I know I don't have any bonuses that would affect that. His is different. He gets the amount of mana for the round. So in this case, it'd be like round 3, you get 3 mana. Plus, he'd get 1 for each of his workers. Plus, you draw a card for each of your workers out there, and you'd add the victory points to that. and then you'd pay out the bonuses depending on what you get. And if you have, let's say I had 7, I would get the 4 reward and the 6 reward. And then whoever has the most will get this. This will be for the end game scoring, will help it be more powerful. I think it doubles the score. And then the last thing is that you do it for this spot and then this spot. And then just sum it up and see how it goes. So let me tell you what I think about it. So Evenfall is a very, I would say, familiar tableau building, card playing game. It's fun. It's easy to play. It's really pretty easy to learn because it's very familiar. Most likely you've played games like this before. Cards that do different things, cards that affect other cards, combo things that will help, etc. It's all been done before, but this does it in a very nice way, nice package, and it's very easy to play solo, which I really like. The solo bot has multiple difficulty levels that you can use, and that will definitely help, as you get better at the game, you can ratchet it up. The player powers are asymmetric, so I was playing on the star side, which is just everyone's the same, but if I flipped it over to the moon side, each of the 4 different characters has very different things that contribute to making the game different. There's a variety of cards. Even though there are duplicate cards, there's still a lot of different cards you can get, and it's a pretty thick deck. The way that you have kind of a tension in, I have to keep things in my outer circle to harvest for the resources, but if I want to score any of those points if I want to score any of the ritual cards I played on them, they got to go to my inner circle. And if I bring them to my inner circle, then I can use workers that are normally useless for anything but that. And so you can't really pull them in all at the last minute because there's only certain ways to get those actions. So you have to kind of start drawing on those throughout the game. But if you draw too much or too fast, then you're kind of stunting your growth throughout the rest of the stuff. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's very easy to play. There's nothing groundbreaking here. There's nothing that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this done before by any means. But if you like this style of game, there's a lot to enjoy here. If you have several of these styles of games, it just depends if you need one more or want one more. I haven't played it enough to know if it would just displace something outright, right? Like if it would just displace, 51st State and I'd never want to play that again. I don't think so. They feel definitely different, even though they're similar in how you play cards, etc. But it is that style of game for sure. So that's what I would say. I know that right now at the time of this video, I got it for must have been on sale or something, but a really decent price. And so now is not a bad time to pick it up. I know there's an expansion coming out in the future, which could breathe more life into it with more cards. But as it is, it's a pretty good value for what you get and for what's going on. So hopefully this was informative for you. And as usual, it all depends on your preferences and what you have in your collection. It's not something that, again, cuts very new territory, but I do enjoy it. And I'm enjoying playing it, and I'm going to enjoy it for many sessions and keep it for a while for sure. So if not forever, don't know yet. Anyway, so thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. And whatever you do in the future, I really hope you have a fantastic time doing it. Take it easy.